I'd like to introduce Nick Maynard, who's going to introduce our next speaker. Nick is Assistant Director of Telecommunications Innovation from the White House Office of Science and Technology Policy. And along with the woman you saw speak from National Science Foundation, Susie Iacona, Nick is probably the next most important, if not the most important person for having the vision of US Ignite and the persistence to get us launched. I've said this before, but if you're ever on the end of a Nick Maynard, if you've agreed to do something for Nick, you will end up doing it because of his vision of the right thing to do and because of his persistence in encouraging you to do it the right way. So please welcome Nick Maynard from the White House Office of Science and Technology Policy. Are you on? There you go. You're on. I think you're good.
You guys can hear me now? Yes. All right.
Okay. I'll come back and
let you. Bill. Okay. Hopefully that doesn't sound too scary.
Yep, sounds good. Yeah, that's
You're
good.
not going to break your legs. We're from the government. We're here to help.
Okay.
So as Bill said, I've been working on.
Do I have to adjust the volume? I don't have to do anything.
Before the launch back in 2012, it's been amazing to see the growth and the excitement within the industry, across the communities, within the universities across the country, and with multiple agencies within the federal government. So as Bill mentioned, as you saw this morning, Susie Iacona and others at NSF really were a strong partner with US Ignite going back to 2011 and launching the US Ignite Mozilla Apps Challenge in 2012. Last year, the Department of Justice launched their Public Safety Apps Challenge, and US Ignite has been working with them, help supporting them in the work that they're doing to bring new tools to first responders across the country. And we're going to hear from Chris Greer in a second from NIST, who's been working on cyber-physical systems and a broad set of new pilot programs that could be a terrific fit with the US Ignite communities across the country. So Chris Greer is currently the director of Smart Grid and Cyber Physical Systems Program Office within NIST. Prior to that, he was associate director for Information Technology Laboratory. Before that, he was actually at OSTP, Office of Science and Technology Policy, where he was assistant director for IT R&D, and he and I worked together during that time. It was great working with Chris directly. Before that, he was director for the National Coordinating Office for the National IT R&D program within the federal government. So how do we coordinate R&D investment, setting priorities for federal agencies, and working with the broader community to ensure that we achieve those goals? So with that, I'd like to welcome Chris up to the stage. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nick. Well, this is terrific. I'm waiting for them. There we are. This is terrific, a fantastic experience. And I'm seeing a lot of faces that I saw just a little while ago at something called the Smart America Expo in Washington, D.C. And I'm here to make an announcement about the follow-on to the Smart America Expo and some of the work there. So I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of the apps and the demo here shortly. But this is a nice place to insert an announcement about where we're going next. And I think Glenn said it just right, and that is that US Ignite is not about just demonstrating that it's possible, it's also about seeing that it gets done. And so I'm looking forward to partnering with US Ignite in something that we're calling Global Cities. So let me say a little bit about how we got here. The Smart America Challenge was something created by two of our Presidential Innovation Fellows, Sok-Woo Ri and Jeff Mulligan. The Presidential Innovation Fellow Program is something that was invented by the U.S. Chief Technology Officer, Todd Park. And the goal of this program is to bring from the private sector entrepreneurs, innovators, creative thinkers to come into government, shake things up, and help us do things in new ways. And certainly, Jeff and Sok-Woo accomplished that very successfully in creating something called Smart America. And here what they were trying to do was demonstrate the benefits of integrating cyber-physical systems that are typically developed in silos. And so water management systems separate from energy management, separate from transportation management. Wouldn't it be much more powerful if we could join those systems together for smart urban management and smart rural management and so on? And so they launched the challenge back in December of last year and brought to the White House some 65 folks who formed up a set of teams. In the end, we had more than 100 participants in the challenge and 24 teams. You can see here on this slide a list of some examples of the kinds of organizations that participated in the challenge from industry, from academia, and from government. We had participation from Homeland Security, the Department of Transportation, the Department of Energy, Montgomery County, and a wide variety of other cities and counties as well. And some of the technologies, this was the Sears project, Smart Energy Response Saves Lives, and a remarkable team from industry and academia, including, and this was about emergency response, being able to stand up ad hoc wireless networks with UAVs. You'll see demonstration of that technology a little bit later, along with censored rescue dogs, robots, and first responder communication command and control systems as well. Another example was a partnership between Honda and Qualcomm. In the U.S., the rate of traffic fatalities is declining. That's a good trend, but there's an increase in pedestrian incidents. And this is intended to get at that with their smart vehicle program, allowing the vehicle to detect the presence of a pedestrian and alert not just the driver, but the pedestrian as well through their cell phone. So an example of smart infrastructure, another Qualcomm and CH2M Hill project on water management, using cellular systems for censoring and monitoring complex water systems, smart infrastructure, including smart traffic lights, inductive charging and road sensors, and so on. So some of these technologies you'll see here as well. Relevant to the presentation that we just saw, this is closed-loop healthcare, a project that's led by Julian Goldman of Massachusetts General Hospital and a team of dozens in closing the loop on healthcare from home assisted living to primary provider, medical facility, pharmacy, and back into the home. Good example of that. So then the question is, the Smart America Challenge was focused on demonstrating the potential for integrating systems to improve the quality of life. So the next step then is how to actually move from these demonstrations to deployment at scale. We want to launch this in September, so hold the date, September 22nd and 23rd at NIST in Gaithersburg. That'll be webcast as well. And we'll be communicating with you through the US Ignite channel on how to participate in this. The central concept in this next challenge is something we're calling action clusters. These are teams of city planners and managers and implementers working with technology innovators, and the goal is to demonstrate that innovative technologies can reduce the time and the costs of deployment of smart cities efforts. So to explain this concept, here's a way of thinking about that. On the one hand, we have a wide variety of smart cities projects, some of them represented in the Smart America Challenge, as listed here. Some of them represented today here at the US Ignite Summit, including the city of San Leandro and others. This smart city effort is not going on just in the United States, it's going on around the world. And so there's a European smart city program hosted by the European Commission in Asia, in Japan, Singapore, South Korea, and others. a large number of very strong smart city efforts. All of these cities are working to use innovative technologies to provide for better security, better quality of life, and a growing economy and new jobs. And so these goals are similar. On the other hand, we have the kind of folks represented in the room today, technology innovators who are working on sensors, on cybersecurity, on telemedicine, as we just heard, and many of the other applications that you'll see in the expo here shortly. And the idea is to join these two sets of folks up around action clusters. So imagine there are many cities who are working on trying to use technologies for air quality sensing, to combine that with traffic management and with energy systems in which the generators of much of the air quality issues are in the energy sector. So putting those together for a comprehensive urban management strategy, that's true for cities or for innovators in many sectors who are going to provide different kinds of capabilities to do that, and many cities who are interested in using those technologies to meet their city goals. And so the action cluster is to pair together cities from around the world who have a common set of technology and management goals with innovators who can provide the technologies to meet those goals. And that might be true not just for energy and air quality management, but another action cluster on green technologies, another one on disaster resilience, and so on. This gives you an idea of how the action clusters might be formed. We don't know yet how many there will be. We were surprised at the December launch of Smart America to see 12 teams emerge. Quickly that grew to 20 and then to 24. So it'll be interesting to see how many action clusters actually emerge from this effort globally. So why participate? What's the benefit here? For communities, for cities and regions, there are sort of two things that help them reduce the time and costs of deployment. It allows them to connect to innovators like you with technologies that can meet their goals, and they can leverage their respective investments so that they can join together to meet those goals. For innovators, a couple of things come to mind. The first is being able to demonstrate the agility of your solutions, the fact that this solution works not just in one setting, but in many settings, and the opportunity to test the technology at city scale as well. For those of us in government, one of the things we're very interested in is the ability to create interoperability for regional scale management. And so this is a key opportunity to promote that interoperability, a key factor for NIST in this process. So those are the kinds of things we're trying to promote. This gives you our contact information. As I said, we'll be getting in touch with you through the US Ignite channel so that you know what's happening and when it's happening. The point is to get to work and see these developments actually get deployed in cities in real deployments. So thank you very much for your time. I'm looking forward to the app expos and to working with all of you in the Global Cities Challenge. Thank you.